Hey guys, welcome back to Caught Looking. I see Matt in the viewfinder. He is currently caught looking, so we're off to a good start. It's week 2 of this podcast. Can't believe we're
We
here.
made it.
We made it. It's honestly kind of a miracle, I think, that we even got the first episode up.
Yeah, there was
In a
so
wild
many
week.
technical difficulties, and I don't think a lot of people thought there was going to be an episode 2. Hopefully, this sees the air because we are recording as we speak. It's Monday, July 8th, 17th? 17th. The Cubs and the Jays. There was a big storyline yesterday that broke that the Blue Jays are showing strong interest in trading for Marcus Stroman.
I mean, as a Jays fan and as someone who owns a Marcus Stroman jersey, I actually let you wear it now whenever you go to Jays games.
That is my go-to jersey.
Isn't it like my ladies' size large jersey or something? Or it's a kid's, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Stroman possibly coming back to Toronto. I mean, obviously some people are saying it's unlikely. The exact wording of it was like the Toronto Blue Jays are showing strong interest in trading for Chicago Cubs pitcher Marcus Stroman per Bruce Levine. I mean, I don't know what Bruce is cooking here, but I'm eating it. I'm kind of eating it up.
Obviously as a Cubs fan, I don't want to trade Marcus Stroman because, that's just saying you're going, like, how are you going to contend when you're trading one of your best players, even if you think you can get some strong assets? But from like a Blue Jays side of things, like Marcus Stroman, the Rogers Center for playoff baseball would be electric.
And obviously, like when Stroman left, it was when like we were just building our team, building our young core kind of thing. And I think now it's been a few years, we've added key pieces to the team. I feel like Stroman, I've been saying for a while that like the Jays need someone that's kind of like, I'm not saying Stroman's a douchebag, but I need someone with that douchebag kind of confidence, like mentality. Obviously, Manoah has the confidence, but he's young. You know what I mean? Like Stroman's been in the league for so long. Like
he pitches with a chip on his shoulder.
Exactly.
So,
and I think the Jays really need someone like that. I thought honestly they needed maybe more like a bat that was kind of like that could always be consistently kind of a tool.
every time we record this episode, I'm scared that the Cubs are going to trade either Bellinger or Stroman, and I pray to God we don't come on here next week and we're talking about one of them being dealt.
Or both.
Or Cody Bellinger is another name that has been linked to the Blue Jays. Like you said before, another bat in the lineup. I think it's so hard because, Cody Bellinger signed a 1-year deal. It was a prove-it deal, and he's obviously been fantastic. And if the Cubs were to sell them, I'm sure they'd get a nice thing in return. But, the Cody Bellinger that I'm watching playing on a day-to-day basis that's a guy I want to see in the lineup for the next 5 years. He's going to be expensive. There's no denying that. And I'm so happy to see him do what he's been doing. I think he's hitting like 400 in the month of July, which is just crazy. He hit like 3 home runs in 24 hours. But that's another name to keep up. I know the Yankees fans are like, oh,
Yankees are claiming everyone.
He's coming to New York. I'm like, all right, dude.
Anyone who's ever played in Major League Baseball has been rumored to go to the Yankees, per Yankees fans.
But the thing is, too, like, the Jays, it's nice for you because we're on the opposite side of things where we're not winning games and we have to be winning. But you guys, on the other hand, are hot right now. It seems like things are starting to gel together. I think if you're the Blue Jays management, you're looking at like, adding a piece and be like, man, this team could contend for a World Series.
I honestly, yes. Though the thing is that like with the Stroman stuff, I know him and the front office in the past have like butt heads and stuff like that. So that's where I'm more iffy. But I honestly can see both sides putting that little pride aside. I mean, Stroman always is still like boosting up Toronto.
Yeah, I remember him posting like Happy Canada Day.
He also like I think in 2021 or 2022, which I mean now it seems like forever ago, but it also doesn't at the same time. Like someone was asking him like who are you cheering for, and he's like the Jays kind of thing. Yeah. So he's always like keeping up with the Jays. He also like loves Manoah also because I think they kind of have the same mentality kind of thing. Though Manoah wears like the number 6 now in Toronto, so I wonder like will Stroman and him like do like a
that feels like something like that. If Stroman was extended, then they could figure out. I feel like coming over just like halfway through the year, Stroman would have to find a different. Which, by the way, if Marcus Stroman gets traded to the Jays, like I'm gonna be pissed. Do not get it twisted. Like I don't want to see a sell for a 3rd year in a row. But God forbid if it was, worst case possible, and they had to deal him, Toronto would probably be my spot.
I mean, I just going back on the jersey thing, I can kind of see him and Manoah being like a Dr. Evil mini-me kind of thing. You know what I mean? From Austin Powers. So that would be really fun to see. But I don't know, him joining the Jays, like their rotation already, think that would be pretty wild.
Yeah.
God, like that would be probably the best rotation.
Oh my gosh, their rotation's already been great. But the thing is, with the Jays, is you look at, you don't know what you're going to get out of Manoah. You don't know what you're going to get out of Ryu, right? So that leaves you like 4 guys. Kikuchi's a little up in the air. Gosman's been fantastic. And you have Bassett and you have Barrios. If you added Marcus Stroman with how great that bullpen has been, suddenly, you're right there for contention in the AL and the entire World Series.
Yeah, no, exactly. We'll take his 2.88 ERA. Thank you.
I swear. I'm scared. We're going to hop on here on next Monday and Marcus Stroman is going to be dealt.
We have, 2 weeks till the deadline?
2 weeks, August 1st.
Just keep pacing it out. But hey, at least you'll see Stroman in Toronto then. Either way in August. So
that is true. The the Cubs are coming to town, and we're going to a game, which I'm so excited about. The problem is, and this happened last year, because for anyone that didn't know, we went to a Jays Cubs game last year.
Yeah,
but
same time.
For some reason, they only play in August, and the last couple of years, the season's over by then. So it's like the Cubs aren't really playing for anything because they've already sold off. They're not contending. But if the Cubs could somehow, make a little push here, that could be a lot of fun. And we even talked about this. We're sitting next to each other, right, at the game.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. Are we going to be like secretly like yes? Are we going to be kind of in each other's faces? Like,
I don't know. Maybe in each other's faces. Maybe like a little friendly wager.
Yeah, well, we should make a little friendly wager.
Oh, speaking of friendly wagers, didn't we have one for the home run derby? And I had the final right and the winner right.
You know what? This is not even me lying. I totally forgot about that. I will own up to it next week on the podcast. I will come on here wearing a Vladdy jersey since you did win.
Perfect. Okay. Or you can wear the Stroman Jays one. I think you should wear the Stroman Jays one.
Let's
do the Stroman Jays one.
I can't keep wearing that.
That or the Daniel Norris Jays one.
I'll wear the Daniel Norris because I'm going to start I'm putting it out to the universe that Stroman's going back to the Blue Jays. But all the times I've worn that damn jersey.
Okay, keep wearing it. Okay, so following along with the Jays, alongside the Marcus Stroman rumors and stuff like that, Jays just completed the sweep over the Diamondbacks. I have a soft spot though for the Diamondbacks, but you hate to see it. Go Jays all the way. It was definitely heart tugging seeing Marino and Gurriel Jr. return to Toronto. The videos over the weekend, even like Gurriel like hugging Bo and like Bo like hugging him from behind, and like even there was like a photo of Gurriel walking around the Rogers Center with a few Diamondbacks players. Like, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely shitting me? Like, that's the stuff you love to see. Though, I don't know. You've seen Gurriel in the outfield rob Matt Chapman. I believe it was yesterday on Sunday. So it's like he's played in the outfield before.
Yeah, it's like he knows that outfield.
Even though they renovated it, he still knows it. And then Marino had a home run too. So stuff like that also is kind of like an oof moment, I feel like sometimes. Obviously seeing players do well when they leave, you want nothing for the best of them when they leave, but then when they're actually doing well, it's like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Also seeing like how players that we've acquired from that trade, like Dalton Varsho, comparing the two of them, or the three of them actually, definitely kind of stings a bit. But we move. Nothing you can really do about it.
I think the hard thing is all 3 players involved are really young, right? Yeah. So you got to kind of wait and see how it plays out. But you never want to look back at a trade and be like, oh man, for example, the Cubs traded Jose Quintana. They got Jose Quintana and traded away Dylan Cease and Eloy Jimenez. And Eloy's a great player when he stays healthy. And Dylan Cease was a Cy Young finalist. And it's like, man, we gave up those players for a guy that, didn't really turn out for us whatsoever. So especially when they come back and you see them reunite with some of those players, you guys got the sweep, though, and you guys are hot right now, so...
Exactly. Stay hot, kids. Speaking of staying hot, a 6-man rotation might be looming in. Ryu is playing AAA Buffalo right now. Manoah, I think Manoah's set to pitch soon, isn't he? We're playing the Padres coming up starting tomorrow. So that will be fun. But then, will Kikuchi become a bullpen piece? Yeah. Like, who knows? The bullpen's been impressive. Pete Walker has those boards working to the bone. So way to go, Pete Walker, on that front.
Yeah, I don't think people are talking enough about the Jays bullpen.
It's something that I would always be like, oh my God, we have all the pieces, just the bullpen needs to figure it out. And now that the bullpen has figured it out, it's like, okay, now our other pieces need to figure it out. So, yeah.
What's the guy that gave up the home run to Aaron Judge?
Tim Mesa.
I think he's got I saw something, I don't know if this is correct. So he has like a 1.16 or 1.17 ERA, which is just absurd. Yeah. Like, guys are stepping up, and again, it begs to ask the question, like, what do the Jays need to do to get them over the hump? And is it just like another bat? Is it another arm in the rotation?
Is it Bellinger and Stroman?
Stop.
Is it also getting
Could you
Ohtani? Like,
imagine?
what is it?
Yeah, I'm sure Ohtani would. That would fill 2 holes right there, right?
Yeah.
With the bat and the pitching, but unfortunately for my end of things, the Cubs we just came off a tough series against the Red Sox. You got to win now. We have a 10-game homestand, and we're 7 games back of 500 with the trade deadline looming, and we didn't show up. And I'm hoping by the time you guys see this episode, the Cubs have won tonight because we play Washington. If we lose to Washington, then just wrap it up. Just put me in Lake Ontario. I'm at that point in time, I'm just done with the season. But it really is now or never for the Chicago Cubs because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like you're only 90 games in, but every game matters when you're fighting for the trade deadline. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out, and at least the Jays are playing well. I can root for your team, but my team's a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic right now. You started talking about the Cubs and like literally being a snooze fest, and the dog, you guys might hear it in the background, is
I might have to wake
passed
him up
out snoring.
These microphones are so like they pick up everything, and
starts talking about the Cubs, and the dog's like.
So, all right, let's transition over to the MLB standings, playoff predictions. So we're going to go through the NL West, the East, the Central, and then the ALs, and then the 3 wildcard teams.
Amazing.
And I want to get your predictions on how you think things are going to play out.
Absolutely. So who do you want to start with, NL West?
Let's start with the NL West.
All right. Obviously, I'm just going to throw it down there. I go with my heart a lot of the times, which worked for the home run derby. Mm-hmm. Honestly, sometimes it's not logistic, but baseball's not always logistic. But I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks.
For the NL West?
Yeah, I gotta go Diamondbacks. I know Dodgers and Giants. God, you know what? They're actually only 2 games back from the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks have not been playing well recently. I think they're 2-8 in their last 10 games. So I respect that because shout out to the Diamondbacks. I lived in Arizona for 5 years, but I'm going Dodgers. I also think the way I look at it is there's a very good chance the Dodgers are going to make some moves at the trade deadline, which is going to make them even better. And I just don't know if Arizona and San Francisco can hang on. So I'll go Dodgers, you go Diamondbacks there.
Perfect. Next, we'll look at the NL Central.
Yeah, that works.
All right, I'll let you kick it off. It's your division.
I'm going Cubs. Right. I'm staying true to my roots. 8 games back. I've said the Cubs all year long, and I'll probably get burned by this, but I feel like if I don't believe in the team, then what's the point? The problem is like Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Like I feel like we're pretty. We play Milwaukee really well, and honestly, I think we have a better team than them. And Cincinnati's kind of settled down a little bit here. The division's so weak. Like if I would have told you the Cardinals were 40-53, everyone picked the Cardinals to win that division. And the fact that they're sitting in dead last, the Cubs. It's probably not going to happen, but I'm going to go Cubs.
All right. I love you so much, and you've taken your morning dose of delusion. But delusion is a hell of a drug. I ain't hopping on that bandwagon with that. Not saying the Cubs are a bandwagon, but you know what I mean. I'm going with the Reds just because I got to go with my boy Joey Votto. I love you so much, Matt.
Hold up. I need to change my answer for the AL East.
Oh, okay. Brew Crew, no, I'm not.
You're not a believer?
I'm not a believer in the Brew Crew. Just the Reds, they're cooking. Got to go with Joey Votto. Got to go with De La Cruz.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the guy's young, but he's having fun. And they're only 2 games back from the Brewers. So, in conclusion, I'm going with the Reds. Okay. I think they're a fun team. And also, there's always that one team, I feel like every year that just surprises you. I feel like, was it last year or the year before that the Guardians were actually doing really good? Yeah. The Reds are my Guardians this year.
Okay. I think we don't even need to talk about the NL East because nobody's catching the Braves, let's be honest here.
Yeah,
We'll just skip to the wild cards. Yeah. I mean, the Braves are 9.5 games up. They're 60? They have 60. They're 61-31, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, but we'll turn the page on that one.
We're just gonna skip over the NL East because honestly, nobody's catching the Braves, and we're gonna get to our wild card teams. For my first wild card team, I have the Philadelphia Phillies. I think the Phillies. Bryce Harper finally hit. And we're gonna talk about this a little bit later. Bryce Harper finally hit a home run. The Phillies are playing good baseball. They're also last year everyone talked about them as the Cinderella story, but they have a top 5 salary cap in all of baseball. They signed Trey Turner, who has not played well this year. At some point, he's going to turn it around. I like the Phillies to get in. I don't think they're going to catch the Braves, but they're my first wild card team.
Okay. I'm going to go Marlins.
Marlins.
Why not? I feel like the Marlins could actually kind of do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm on Team Delulu right now.
I'm waiting for a Cubs. I bet if you're not taking the Cubs to win the
And
division, the Cubs better be in that damn wild card selection. All right, for the wild card number 2, I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Brewers. Again, I have the Cubs catching the Brewers. Again, like you said, I don't know what I'm smoking over here. I'm smoking my own delusion, but I think that Milwaukee will still get in, and I have them finishing in the second wild card
Why
spot.
is it every time you talk about the NL Central, the dog starts snoring?
I know he really does. He's just not a fan of that division. It's a snooze fest in his eyes.
I will take the Cubs as my wild card.
Yes,
Not like I
that's
have
a
a gun
great
to my
answer.
head right now, and that we share a house together, and I should watch my eyes, keep them open while I'm sleeping. But I'll go Cubbies.
I love that answer. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I'll pay you for your answer in a bit. Up next, the third wild card spot, and I'm gonna go with the Giants. I think the Giants are gonna edge the Diamondbacks, and I think they're gonna get themselves in.
I'm gonna go Dodgers as my
Dodgers,
wild card because
okay.
I picked Diamondbacks to win the division.
so you have the Cubs finishing above the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yep, I do. You can't. Baseball is so unpredictable.
It is very unpredictable. All right, let's move over to the AL. We'll start off with the AL East, and I'll let you take it away.
I'm actually going to say the Orioles are going to win the division. The Orioles' schedule also is a lot easier, I believe, than the Rays coming up. So I'm going to go off that.
Orioles have been hot.
Orioles have been hot, and obviously there's like AL East. You don't want to cheer for your rivals, and I'm not cheering for the Orioles. But if I had to cheer for the Orioles over any of the other teams in the division, I probably I actually don't mind the Orioles.
Yeah.
Also, I like Adley Rushton, so yeah.
I said the Blue Jays. So I'm more of a believer than you are.
I mean,
The Jays are 6 games back, I think.
I'm a lover, but I'm a realist.
You're a realist.
At the same time, I say as I pick the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I mean the Jays are 6 games back. I think it's very possible. You know, Tampa Bay slowed down a bit. Baltimore's been really good. I think Toronto, especially if they make a couple moves at the deadline, I think they could win that AL East division. Yeah, it's really not. I don't think it's. I think it's very doable. So I have the Jays winning that, and then when we move over to the Central, I have Minnesota winning, which this is just like which is ironic coming from me, but such a mid division. I mean, Minnesota's 48 and 46, and they're 2.5 games up on Cleveland, who's 45 and 48. I don't know what the White Sox have been awful this season. You got the Royals and the Tigers who are just eh. So I got Minnesota holding on. I think Minnesota probably goes out and makes another move before the deadline. And they end up winning the Central.
I mean, there's not really a debate. I'm probably also just going with Minnesota. Would love to go Cleveland, but I feel like they had their little moment last year. They're not as hot right now.
Yeah, and it's weird because everyone's like talking about them trading Shane Bieber, and that's not going to happen. But I don't think they're going to go out and make some crazy moves to make a push for the division. And then for the West, which has been a lot of fun, I think we're all rooting for the Angels to get in the playoffs, right? Because we want to see Shohei and Trout. But I actually have Houston winning this division. I think they're getting healthy. Jordan's supposed to return to a rehab assignment soon, and I just think they're experienced. They're 3 games back at Texas right now. I think eventually they're going to catch Texas and win the West again.
I'm gonna go the same with the Astros winning the division. It's also the Astros. You can't just you can't really go against them.
There's some teams where it's just like
you can go against them, but I mean like.
It's like going against it's like going against the Chiefs in football. Like it's just not a smart idea.
And then our wild cards.
First wild card team is the Rays. I have that because I have the Jays winning the division. I still think the Rays are going to get in the playoffs. I just don't have them winning the division. What about yourself?
My first wild card is the Rays.
Oh. You imagine you don't even have the Jays making the playoffs.
I do have the Jays as the second wild card team.
Okay, so the Jays are your second wild card. I got the Rangers as my second wild card team. Okay. I think they're gonna still get in the playoffs, and I think that'd be a really tough out, especially with how they already traded for Chapman. I imagine they're gonna make some more deals as well. They got Seager's been unbelievable. If it wasn't for Ohtani, Seager would win he'd be the AL favorite to win MVP right now. So I got the Rangers as my second wildcard team, and then I have the Orioles, who you picked to win the division, as my third wildcard team.
My third wildcard team is the Rangers.
Okay.
Wait, that makes sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love Marcus Stroman still, so. All right, so, you're just mentioning Ohtani, so thought it would be good to mention his home run record, the pursuit for it.
Yeah.
Beat the record that Judge just accomplished last season. And all I'm going to say for it is I hope they have Roger Maris Jr. sitting at Angel Stadium every single game, just like they made everyone watch him watch.
Would they not
Judge.
be Judge's family? Like Judge have to go to the games?
Maybe they have Judge's family just sitting and watching it. That'd be actually kind of. Actually, they could have Judge. He's out, so they're gonna have Judge.
So maybe they just get Judge. Last night he hit his 34th home run, which is as many as he did last year, which is just crazy to think about. Yeah, he's on pace for 59, so he's right there. And the Angels, the problem with the Angels, it's just like, oh man, like last night they blew a huge lead in the 9th inning and lost the Astros. It's just, I think we're all rooting for the Angels because we want to see Shohei and Trout in the playoffs, but they just find ways they always end up finding ways to lose games. And Ohtani's doing everything he possibly can right now. I mean, 34 home runs at where we're at in the season is just insane.
See, I'm gonna have to stop you there because you said everyone's rooting for the Angels because you want to see them in the playoffs. I really don't, because I feel like they are just wasting their talent. I don't even want it. Like, it's been so long, basically, that the Angels have not been good. Like, you're wasting Trout, you're wasting Ohtani.
Here's my problem though.
Like,
would you rather see Ohtani on the Angels or would you rather see Ohtani on like the Dodgers?
Probably the Dodgers.
No. I do. The last thing we need is Ohtani going to a team like the Yankees or the Dodgers. Like,
okay, no, I don't want him at the Yankees. Let's pump the brakes on that. I'd definitely rather him on the Dodgers other than the Yankees. But I want to see him on like a team that's actually doing well. You know what I mean? Like, also the same as Trout. He's just wasting away there kind of thing. Like, I feel like they've had their time to like build these key pieces. Like, now you're going to push for it when he's about to leave. Like, I don't know. I'd rather him honestly get dealt at the trade deadline.
So here's the thing. The owners came out and said that if they're in a playoff position, they're not going to deal him, which I think they're 4 or 5 games out of the wild card team. And the rumors that have circulated are that they want 2 top 30 prospects from a team and then 2 MLB ready players. Again, it's tough because, you trade for Ohtani and you're like banking on the fact that he's going to re-sign with your team. But then if you're an Angels fan or if you're part of the Angels organization, it's like, do you want to risk the chance of losing him and getting nothing?
I personally think, also like there's a whole thing that like the sales of having Ohtani there, like that money, you'll lose that money if he goes at the trade deadline. But then again, if you have Mike Trout's not Shohei Ohtani, but like you still have a key player there that like brings in baseball fans. But obviously it's not the same as Ohtani. Ohtani just brings a whole different demographic even to the game. But I don't know. Like, I honestly feel like their best bet is honestly the trade, I feel like, at the deadline and get those players instead of just losing out and just like praying that like he stays around, which I honestly don't think he's going to stay around.
I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't know if I think he's probably going to leave, but I don't think they're going to trade him at the deadline. As much fun as that would be. If it's the Cubs.
As long as it's not the Yankees, honestly, at that point. The Yankees fans have Judge for Ohtani. Can you imagine Judge and Trout on the same team?
That'd be crazy. I don't know what it'd be. It's going to be like a trade package for Ohtani would be crazy. And
if the Cubs were trying to trade for Ohtani then at the deadline, who do you think they're giving up?
I think it would have to be 2 of our. We have a top 10 farm system in baseball, so we got a lot of good prospects. But like MLB ready players, I don't really know who they want. Like, that's the thing. Like, they don't want like a Cody Bellinger who's going to opt out of his contract or has a 1-year deal. Like, they want guys that are up and coming, that are young. We'll see. Again, the thing about it though, for me, and everyone's like, oh, like, sell at the deadline. Like, what makes me believe as a Cubs fan, if you're going to sell off players like Marcus Stroman and Cody Bellinger, why the hell would you why is your general manager then going to go out and get Ohtani? Like, why would Ohtani even want to play for a team that's in a rebuild? Like, he wants to win. I think, the World Baseball Classic and all that kind of gave him a taste of it, and that's what he wants. And
maybe he's going to join the Cardinals, join Lars Nootbaar.
Oh, God, if he went to the Cardinals, I'd be so mad. That'd be even worse. But the Cardinals, nobody wants to play for the Cardinals, let's be honest. All right, let's talk about the Yankees. I know we briefed about it for a second there. They lost 2 of 3 games, lost the series against the Rockies, who have the worst. Who have the worst record in all of the NL. They blew Garrett Cole had an outstanding outing yesterday, and then they blew a loss. I don't know if you saw, there's a clip where the Yankees announcer's talking. He's saying like, oh, like this guy hasn't hit a home run in 120 at bats, and like as those words are coming out of his mouth, the guy for the Rockies, who I'm blanking on his name, hits a home run. So very Yankee fashion. They're at the bottom of the division. It's a tough division though, so it's like they wouldn't be at the bottom of the division if they didn't play in the AL East, but A lot of people are questioning, like, what are the Yankees going to do? I'm sure you're loving it as a Jays fan.
It's very sweet. Also, the fact that the Yankees lost to Randall Grichuk 2 or 3 games, I'm laughing. I'm bringing that to the bank. Hell yeah, brother.
But that is it's a tough look, and the Yankees keep talking about buying at the deadline, but like, if you're not in playoff contention, why are you going to buy? I mean,
yeah, fucking toodles.
Yeah.
See ya. Rearview mirror. They're behind us.
We should say Judge has missed like a month and a half.
And also, I'm pretty sure Donaldson's out, isn't he? I believe so.
Donaldson's terrible. He's been like
But
150 on the year. They're better with Donaldson out.
True. But also, okay, they had their sponsorship. Did you see that real quick?
Yeah.
I know we weren't planning on touching on it, but they added like a sponsor to their arm. The Jays also just added a sponsor. It's like TD for the Jays. I don't know the Yankees one. But just the fact that they can have that, but they can't like grow a mustache or like have long hair on the Yankees.
Yeah, or have their last names on their jerseys. Like yeah.
But I like a last name jersey.
I think so.
Yankees.
I think
Yeah. A Judge like 99 jersey actually would be horrible. But I want to see Josh Donaldson with like a Joe Dirt mullet with that sponsorship then.
Yeah, they should just waive all that. I mean, I get it's like what makes like the history of the Yankees, but
the Leafs do it too, and it's just like, get over it. I don't know if the Leafs still do it. I don't follow hockey, but yeah. I know you wanted to mention Bryce Harper, so I'll let you grab the floor with that one.
So there's a couple parts to this story that I love. First off, Bryce Harper hit his first home run, breaking a 38-game drought, which is just, when you think about Bryce Harper, you think of home runs, right? And normally when Bryce Harper hits a home run, he points out like to the bullpen and like acknowledges them because they all stand out. He didn't do it, which a lot of people like he just forgot. And then afterwards, he realized he had screwed up, so he called in on the phone and to the bullpen from the dugout. But the funny part about it was in the press game afterwards, they asked him about it. And they're like, "Did you see Craig Kimbrell? You know Craig Kimbrell, the closer. They like, did you see he barehanded the home run? Like he caught it." And he's like, "That was so stupid." Which, I mean, like, think about if Jordan Romano's in the outfield, like, barehanding, like, a Vladdy home run. Like
Tim Meza, our bullpen guy right now, just barehanding.
Like, that is just, why are you barehanding a ball? Like, I get if you're, like, the catcher, like, catcher in the bullpen, but, like, your closer doing that just seems so stupid.
Yeah. That's wild. Now I literally just have it in my head, though, of, like, even when Judge was doing the whole home run thing, I know that didn't Jordan Romano get the ball for him? Yeah. Can you imagine Romano just barehanding a Judge, and that's how he just ends it for him?
That's how you like break a finger
for a Judge. Like out of all the teams, Yankees, Judge, home run. I don't know. It would be crazy, but I pray that doesn't happen. And Kimbrell's all good, right?
Yeah, no, I think he pitched that game, so he's fine.
Okay, well. Yeah, so MLB TikTok, I love the MLB TikTok account. We are gals. We are girls.
Don't they follow you?
They follow me. We're friends.
That's a hell of a flex.
Hell of a flex. But they've been using, so background story, my best friend from grade 9, still obviously best friend to this day, Sabrina Sabi Sousa. She's a singer. And she has like a very bubblegum, poppy kind of sound, right? Matt always says when I talk about Sabrina or like I talk with Sabrina, I turn into this very like, I use my hands, I use my, you know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, Sabi has a song. Oh my gosh, what's the song called? She just released another. She has Head Bitch in Charge is a song that she just released. That one's Spoiled. Okay, that one's Spoiled. Her song's Spoiled. Very catchy. And obviously, it's been going really good on TikTok, I think, the sound. I think it's part of like a community that I don't really want to view. If I'm catching my drift, some yoga is involved with the videos. But anyways, MLB's been using the video. And at first they used it, I think they used it for like Tony Kemp slapping another like A's player's ass. And I was just scrolling my timeline. I was like, I know this song. Why is Tony Kemp slapping ass to my best friend's song? That's hilarious. And then they used it again for Ohtani during the All-Star game. I guess he was practicing just on the field. He was just showing like, I guess like his wind-up kind of thing. It's just his butt moving up in the air. And it's like, what's a girl like me to do with all this money? Oh, I gotta spend it, huh? And I don't know. I just love that.
Two worlds colliding.
Two worlds colliding. And also the fact that I'm from Toronto. My best friend's from Toronto. Ohtani to Toronto. That's how I'm.
I mean, if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is.
I mean, also if Vlad didn't do enough with trying to, I think it was like was it the Japanese broadcast of the game where was it Vlad in the back? Yeah. So we're all pushing the Ohtani envelope here.
Yeah,
we're mending.
The agenda is very real for both of us. I think some of our, like myself, believing he's going to come to the Cubs are maybe a little more realistic, a little more fairy tale world, but I'm sure next week we'll have some trades to talk about. We maybe, you know what? I think what next week we'll do is we'll both come up with some names and players that are on the trade block and where we think they're going to go.
Yeah. I actually wanted to real quickly because I know you're trying to cut it off. I ain't done speaking.
Oh, excuse me.
I actually wanted to ask you a question, and hopefully our camera doesn't die. I'm just lobballing you this one. Okay. Because I seen a tweet from the Celebrity All-Star game where it was Zach Levine. Yeah. Like he hit a home run. Yeah. And this girl, honestly, kudos to her because the engagement she got on this tweet was like pretty remarkable. But it was just like basketball players can play any sport they wanted to kind of thing. Where I wanted to ask you, which athlete of like the 4 major sports do you think could be like I'm trying to say dual athlete, but like who could actually be really good in like another sport, like I think a basketball player in baseball, a football player in baseball,
basketball player. I think a basketball player in football or a football player in basketball. I think baseball translate like, for example, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time in my opinion, and you look at his baseball numbers, they're not great. I think if you put LeBron James, like if LeBron James played tight end, I think he could have played in the NFL easily. Yeah. Or like Russell Westbrook. I think Russell Westbrook would be fantastic in football. I think football's a little bit tougher. Like I think a lot of these guys believe they're hoopers, but they're not actually like hoopers. But I think if I lined up Russell Westbrook as a middle linebacker, he would do some damage, or like LeBron in tight end, or I think baseball is a little bit harder. I don't think baseball translates that way.
There are a few football players, I believe, that have translated over.
Yeah, Deion Sanders is a special occasion.
Kyler also used to play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Well, obviously because of his dad, but Patrick Mahomes played baseball for a bit too.
That's true. I'm still gonna go basketball to football. I think basketball to football is easier. Like not easier, but if there were to like translate.
I feel like football to basketball for me. Obviously, Myles Garrett is just like a Space Jam kind of thing. But I feel like
But look at Myles Garrett and Steph Curry in that photo where they're like seeing eye to eye. Like you don't understand. Like these guys are so damn tall. We're like if you're 6 feet, you're gonna look like Chris Paul out there. And if you can't handle the basketball, that's the only reason. Like I think you forget how tall these basketball players are, and there are tall football players, but most of the tall football players outside of like Gronk and even Travis Kelce, but like most of them are like offensive linemen who are like overweight and 300 pounds.
True. But also I feel like at the same time, like quarterbacks would be not horrible in the NBA. I don't know. I'm just
imagine Tom Brady playing fucking.
Well, the only reason I say that is they're so used to throwing a ball also with one hand though, tossing it how far down the field. I mean, tossing it from what? I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be tossing it from half court shots or anything like that.
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I think there are exceptions, like you said, Kyler Murray, and what Deion Sanders did was insane. But I don't know. I think football is like an easier sport just to pick up than it is like baseball. And the dogs. All right, well, that's a good way to end it right there. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 2. I think we're a little bit longer today. We better again.
Not a 15-minute episode. My whole elbow just cracked as I said that. So.
But make sure you guys download and like and all that stuff, whatever platform you're watching on. If you're on YouTube, make sure you guys do drop a subscription. Yeah, let us know in the comments down below. What do you agree with? Oh, I just hit my microphone. I'm so sorry. What do you disagree with for the standings, predictions for myself and Jordan? Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Catch you on the flippity flip.